What's up, everybody? Welcome to Flux Harmonic. I'm David Wilson, and we're back again with another live stream where we're gonna try to work on a jam entry for the August Lisp Game Jam. I gotta get my brain in sync with the words. So yesterday we started working on a basic Solitaire game using the new Guile Hoot toolchain that's being developed by the Sprightly Institute. Basically, it's a Scheme to WebAssembly compiler toolchain that can take Scheme code and make it runnable in the browser, which is super exciting for me because I'm a Scheme enthusiast. However, those of you who were here yesterday noticed that we didn't write a whole lot of Scheme yet because the toolchain is at a state where you can do a lot in Scheme, but the interface between the Scheme runtime in WebAssembly or in the browser is not it's not easy to call out the functions in JavaScript just yet. So you kind of have to take an inverse approach where you write JavaScript code that can take care of a lot of the interaction with the JavaScript environment, like rendering and handling input, and then call into the Scheme code that we're going to write to affect the changes to the game state and to run the game logic. So today, what we're going to do is work on the Scheme side of things. We're going to start writing the game logic in Scheme, and then if we get far enough, we're going to try to hook it back up to the JavaScript so that you can actually see at least the game board be rendered using the state that's being returned back from Scheme. So I'm going to try to write some Scheme code for this and maybe try to write some tests, like unit tests, basically to just sort of verify what I'm doing, make sure that the logic all works correctly. We'll see if it actually works to do that. And then we'll see how far we get. Yesterday, we managed to get so far as to have a pretty nice little, game rendering. This is actually being rendered with the HTML Canvas API in the browser. We got some nice, numbers and faces and stuff for the cards. Some of the stuff obviously still needs to be rendered. We just haven't gotten there yet, but that's all just a matter of time. So I'm quite satisfied with how far we've gotten so far. Hello to Akites and to Paul. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Akite says, JavaScript is almost Scheme. Yeah, it's, got some similarities, but I wouldn't say it's Scheme, really. Let me bump. Okay, there we go. Cool. So the thing I was working on right before we started the stream is to fix the auto-publishing of the game on commit. Hey, Alejandro. Nice to see you. So what I want to do is on the repo for the game, which this is on Codeberg, codeberg.org/fluxharmonic/ALGJ for Autumn Lisp Game Jam 2023-Cybersol. On this repo, I have a Woodpecker CI automation that should, when it starts working correctly, auto-publish this game to a web page so that anybody can go check it out as we're working on it. And really the only thing left to make work is the build script that I'm using that I wrote in Guile. Basically, I need to pull out the path to some shared files correctly so that they can be included with the distribution. There's some JS runtime files that the compiled WebAssembly code needs to interact with the JavaScript runtime at some level. So I'm just trying to get that part finished right now. And effectively what I'm doing is trying to look at the environment variables in the shell and try to figure out which folder path might actually have those files that I need so I can copy them out. And maybe you're wondering, why are you going to this trouble? Well, I'm trying to automate this so that anybody else can come and use the same script for their own project so they don't have to write it themselves. I imagine that this stuff will be part of the Hoot toolchain at some point. I might even try to help contribute some of that stuff, but we'll see. I'm just trying to get things going enough to automate publishing for now. So, where I left off was trying to resolve this JS path, and if I were to pull up vterm, I can show you what I'm looking for. So we're currently ls geeks environment. We're in a geek shell, I think. Yeah, so we're in a geek shell. My prompt is all jacked up. Echo geeks environment. This variable only shows up if you're in a geek shell, I think. Now, the reason why I have to check in more than one place is because on the Docker image that I generate that has Guile Hoot installed on it to run in CI, it doesn't have a geeks environment because this is a container that gets produced by geeks. So we have to look at the Guile load path instead. But let's just for a second just take a look at where these files are that I'm looking for. So it's in /share/ Is it Guile Hoot? Oh, I don't want to echo that. I want to ls that. Man, this prompt string is totally messed up. Okay, /js. So these files in this folder, I need to take and move into the output folder where I'm going to publish a game. So it's easy to find that one just looking at the Geeks environment folder, but inside of the environment that gets created with a Docker container, I think the only thing I can look at is the Guile load path. And if you were to echo the Guile load path, you can see that the same profile path is appended to the front of that with some extra stuff for the Guile site files, I guess, site Lisp files. So I'm just trying to like grab that profile path, rip off the stuff at the end, and then paste on the subpath to the JS files. So that's what should work. I think right now, though, it's not fully working, so I need to diagnose what's happening here. First of all, I'm going to format T JS path and JS path. I just want to see what the build script is coming up with here. So scripts, first of all, rmrf JS runtime, since it's a blank folder for now, then scripts build. Okay, so JS path, it says, is profile share host JS. Okay, so it actually did copy it this time. Maybe I did something wrong the last time. Cool, so that worked for this one. I'm guessing this is also gonna work for, well, guessing is dangerous. What I can do is I can delete that Guile environment variable. Is it del or delete? Or, well, bash delete environment variable. I think it's one of those. Delete may be a keyword. Oh, is it unset? Okay. So unset geeks environment. Okay, it's not there anymore. Let's run that command again then. It seems like it worked because Geeks environment's not there. So now I can just take this line here out, the format line, and I'll try to commit this to the repo. I should do this in a branch, I think. Let me check out my Woodpecker file. Okay, CI test. Let's create a little branch here. I'll start at the master, CI test, and then I'll commit this file there. Fix Guile Hoot JS path resolution on CI. We'll push that up to remote. And then I'll hop over to ci.codeberg.org. Probably have to log in there. All right, now I would have assumed that it would have started the job. Oh, okay, well, and that's one day ago. That's not this one. Oh, that's the wrong repo. That's why. I have not added the repository yet. That's why it has not run the workflow. So let's try to add that. Come on. Did I not just click that button? There we go. Let's add the cybersol repo for automation. Run the pipeline on the CI test branch because it didn't get kicked off before. Now let's see what publish does. Okay, I need to fix that that git push. Apparently, I have a git ignore in here that's causing JS runtime and main.wasm to be skipped. I don't want that to happen, so let me go to Woodpecker. Come on. There we go. So the git add, I need to put -f to force. And let's just amend that commit. Great. Okay, now let's check out the push automation. Authentication failed. Ooh, wait, what? Oh, I didn't change that. Whoops. A couple things I need to do here. I need to change this path. Let's see, where's the name of the repo? Good thing that didn't work. I think the other thing is I don't have that repo token yet. So what I'm playing in the background is a playlist on Spotify by a guy named Carl Casey. It's copyright-free synthwave. So Carl Casey, let me just pull that up. Carl Casey. Carl Casey is a composer, I guess you could say, producer. White Bat Recordings, is that it? White Bat Audio. So anyway, he basically makes a bunch of royalty-free tracks that people can play in streams, and this is just like a bunch of like synthwave type music, which is pretty cool. I use it on all the Flux Harmonic streams because it's good stuff. Okay, so I need to hide the screen for a moment. Let me show you my beautiful face. I'm gonna try to copy a token over. I don't even remember what token I have for this. Repo token. I may have to create a new one. So codeberg.org. I basically have to create a token that enables the CI automation to push the repo, because you don't get that for free. Security applications, there we go. I'm going to create a new token called Flux Harmonic Repo. Repo read and write. Generate token. Okay, and then I'll go put that into the CI settings. Be done in just 1 second, folks. Sorry for that. Secrets, add secret, repo token, and is that the right name? Repo underscore token, cool. Push. All right, that should be done now. Now I'll flip the screen back on. Okay, so now I should be able to restart this pipeline, and in theory, it should publish that to the site and we'll be able to check it out. All right, it seems to have succeeded this time. Uh-oh. Okay, it's succeeded in a way that I didn't want it to. It pushed it to the Guile Hoot starter branch. Let me fix the path. Now the Guile Hoot starter repo has this on the site instead. That's fun. New automation's up. And that's done. Now, I think we should be able to access this site via fluxharmonic.codeberg.page/. Yeah. Something's not working though. Let's see what's happening in the console. Loading failed for the script with source JS runtime reflect. Why? 404. Interesting. Let me double check the CI output and make sure that the files were added. Oh, did I? No, it's there, right? Main.js, reflect.js. Why would it not like those? Oh, wait. Ah, okay. The main, sorry, index.html, I think I have slashes at the beginning of these. I should take those out because it's put into the root of the repo. Don't use absolute paths for JS script includes. And we can move this back over to master now, I think, since we know that it works. Oh. Okay, now let's check the CI one more time. Okay, that's been published now. Let's see if it works. Oh, okay, I'm in Firefox, so that's not gonna work. It says GC type's not enabled. I need a way to check browser features and see if the expected browser features are available before I start loading stuff. Failed to execute compile on WebAssembly HTTP status code is not okay. So 404 for main.wasm. Uh-oh. Oh, another issue with path. This will work. I think this last push should do it. So long as Codeberg pages actually returns WASM files with application WASM so that the browser recognizes it. Okay, so that's pushed now. Let's go back in here. Come on now. Hey, I fixed that. Let me double check that everything. Main.wasm. Shouldn't be looking there though. All right, so the other possibility here, which is kind of hacky, is to use a different way of addressing the site. This is another thing that say what? Oh, come on, man. It doesn't let me accept it. Come on, Chrome. Interesting that it still is looking for the file at the main.wasm. Let's check the sources, make sure that it has the right main.js. Huh. Is the cache not updating? Settings. Where's the cache setting? Disable cache. Okay, there we go. There it is, finally. Okay, cool. So it does load. Excellent. All right, so you can go look at this page too if you have a Chrome dev build. It has to be the latest stuff. It can't be the currently released Chrome browser. It doesn't work on Firefox right now, I think. Maybe it works on a dev build of Firefox too, but I don't know. But this is the current code we have. It's published to the website, thankfully, so at least we have that working now. And I can go into the README file. All right, let me also delete this other README file that's here because that's from the starter package. Okay. Come on now, what are you doing? Cool. All right, so we have the game up, and you can check it out if you want to. It doesn't do anything right now. You can't click on the cards yet, but that's why we have to add some logic for that today. So I mentioned before that I would like to try to get some basic unit tests written to validate the code as we work on it. Let me go to the Guile Hoot repo, because they have some examples of tests written against the code. And by the way, if the music is too loud, let me know, because I can turn the volume down. In fact, I might turn it down slightly, because I can hear it quite loud myself. There we go. Okay, so there's a bunch of tests in here for the Hoot toolchain itself. I think, okay, they have test compilation. There's a test utils file. Probably is where their test compilation is. I think all this test code is being executed with the normal Guile toolchain, and they're using the emulator from Hoot to test all this out. Or I guess they use this D8 also, which is running it against the actual Chromium build. But for me, I think I'll just run it in the emulator because it's simpler that way. Their whole little harness here is Surfy 64, the test one. Yeah, test suites. Syntax rule. Compile call, import ABI, export ABI. Member Hoot test hosts. Hoot result, compare results. WASM. Okay. So that seems to be it. Let's do that then. Can I use that same Surfy 64? I don't remember the docs for that. In fact, Guile unit test. I think they have manual information for that. Or maybe I should just look for Guile Surfy 64. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay, fine. See the specification. That's what I'm doing. Hey, Christine, nice to see you. So I'm trying to write a little bit of unit tests for the scheme side logic, because we're going to start working on that today. Test begin, test assert, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go have a test folder here. I don't know, we're just gonna start trying to build this out little by little. So define module test, well, test main. Probably don't really even need to give it a module name at the moment. Use module Surfy 64. Christine is working on animation in Blender while watching the stream. Yeah, that's awesome. I saw the little clip that you posted on your post for the Hack and Crafts teaser yesterday. It looks cool. It reminds me of an assignment I did for my ray tracing class in grad school. I did a similar little like eyeball thing like that. I don't know if I have the image of that anywhere. Okay, so test begin. I have no idea what I'm gonna be putting here, but yeah, it does look old school, but it looks cool though. I like it. I really need to learn Blender better because I think it would have a lot of value for, go away Copilot. Have a lot of value for some of the stuff I'm doing. I just need to like actually do it. Yeah, intentionally like a PlayStation era iBoss. Yes, it does have that vibe. Kite says, I'm trying to make something for the jam, but I'm probably not reaching the deadline. That's why you have to make something extremely simple, because otherwise it's not likely to happen. All right. So I also need to pull in. You know what? Let's just do this the easy way. Use, is it modules? Yeah, here we go. And also I need, I think it's Hoot compile. Yeah. In fact, let's just drag these in. I probably need all of these at some point. Okay. And then the key here, I think, was the assemble compile or compile expression. Yep. So define I may have to do this as a syntax. Whatever. And where did I see that? I actually have it in the build script, I think. Compile. Okay, there's a symbol wasm, but compile value / hoot. Call the printed values. Hoot instantiate, hoot load. Okay. And then reflect wasm. Doing a little bit of a copy pasta here. So I have to have the wasm first, so I need to compile it to drop it in here. Should probably print that out once it's done. We're just gonna do a little bit of testing. Alejandro says, are you using video.ninja? No, not right now. I was using that for the System Crafter stream, but I'm not at the moment. I'm still using the normal HDMI capture. All right, so how else would he load up the game code too? And I don't want it to have to recompile every time. Call with compiled wasm file. Probably don't need that. Because we're basically taking in an expression to be compiled. I can put an include in here, but it feels a little bit redundant to recompile the game, the main.scm file every time. Hey, Fikri. Because if I have main.scm and it has like a whole bunch of code in here, then that's going to be a lot of waste. Unless I don't have that many tests. Maybe I shouldn't overthink it. One of the other things I wanted to try too was using a vector for some of this stuff, because I was going to use lists, but the more I think about it, the more I think it's going to be hackier code. Not hacky. I'll have to write more stuff to achieve the same result. With a vector, I can just index directly into whatever I'm creating. So, now that, I don't know exactly how much, wait. Okay, so there seems to be make vector calls in here. Yep. And even tests for vectors. Okay, whatever. Same old goodies. Let's just say 10 for now. I don't know exactly how much. For piles, make vector 7. And then these may have lists internally. For each index. So I guess I should probably think about how I want to represent all the information in the game. So we start with 52 cards, is that right? We're not looking at jokers or anything. I think that's right, isn't it? Let's see, standard card deck. Standard 52 card deck. 13 ranks, 10 lists in the stocks. Yeah, I need to work on that one. Okay, yeah, so 13 times 4 is 52. Cool, so 52 is good. Start with 52 cards. Randomly select a cards for each pile, each with one more card than the last. And then place the rest of the cards in the stock. And that's sort of like the initial state of the game board. Now, do we have any rand inside of... I don't even remember what it is supposed to be. Rand... Random, is this a module? Random. Random access, that's not what I'm looking for. There may not be a rand implementation. Well, if there's not, then I may have to generate the initial set of cards for the game state and then pass that in, and then the scheme code can process that. Because, you know, if we don't have it, we don't have it. Do we have like any math primitives? We don't need, you know, sign, but just as a means of checking things out. Standard lib. Maybe this is for the types. Abel Rashid says, he's alive. Yes, I've been alive. I just haven't been streaming on Flux Harmonic for a while. Let's see. Vector, procedure, symbol. Okay, so yeah, we definitely don't have anything special. That's fine. So that just tells us what we have to do. So I think in my main, new game needs to take a shuffled deck string, which is a little bit unfortunate, but that's fine. We're dealing with the limitations we have of present day. And it may turn out that some goodies get dropped into the repo as the week goes on, I might be able to replace some of this code. So if I were to start from here then, where we say new game.call, generate a shuffled deck string. So the idea that I have is that I basically transport around lists of cards as a string where there's two characters that represent one card. The scheme being like, H4 for 4 of hearts, DJ for Jack of diamonds, SA for ace of clubs, spades, C2 for a 2 of clubs, that sort of thing. So, so if I want to generate a shuffled deck, any access to dev rand? No, because we're in a browser. I mean, if we had foreign function interface, I could call out to the rand function of JavaScript. We can't do that right now. So shuffling a deck, I mean, what I could start with. Let's say I have a set. So, cards. Okay, so let's do it this way. This is smarter, I think. H, D, S, C, dot for each. And that is a suit, right? Is that what it's called? Suit, yeah. Okay, and then for each of those, I need to generate basically just the whole range of ranks. Yes, that's right, Alejandro. Able to ask her, am I still maintaining the Emacs from scratch config? No, because that wasn't meant to be something that you use directly. It's meant to be just an educational resource. But there is crafted Emacs. So if you search for crafted Emacs, you should find it. It's basically like one that is meant for you to use. Okay, so we need to go from 2 to 13, I think, right? Yeah, 2 to 13. I guess even 1 to 13, because ace is 1. Or, let's just do the same little magic here, right? So A, because we do want... Hey, Glenn. Yes, I said we were going to write more scheme today, but we still have to do something else in advance. Okay, so now for each of these, we're just going to generate a whole, well, a whole array, no, a whole set, let's say. So cards dot, I think it's add, right? Can I use this syntax? Or maybe I could just say suit plus rank. I think that should work. We'll find out real fast if it doesn't. So that should give us a whole set. Now that we have the whole set, we can do a loop. To see a real dev at work, yeah, I don't know if I'm a real dev. I'm just, poking around here. So cards dot, is it size, I think? Size as a function, okay? So size is greater than 0. We'll just pick one. Hey, Dave. So then from, oh, with a set I can't do, Can I delete from an array? JavaScript array delete. Can I slice it out? Maybe that's what I need to do. JavaScript array slice item out. Remove an element from a JavaScript array. Let's just do it the array way, because I think set is not the right thing. All right, there we go. Slice and concat. Slice O2. Okay. Why is JavaScript that odd? Because it's existed forever and it just kind of got added to years and years and years. Copy without, so half before unwanted element. That doesn't look right to me. I think that's supposed to be dot slice. Okay, so. Okay, that should work, I think. And this is now length. Const index equals JavaScript rand. I'm pretty sure it's just rand, right? Nope, math.random. And that could be, it's between 0 and 1. So you multiply that by 52, and I probably need to floor it. Oh, no. Cards.length. Yeah. Yep. What Dave said is right. To answer the question about random number generator access has to come from the host. Hoot does not provide random numbers yet. Yep. Christine says, because it was supposed to be scheme and then it wasn't. Yes. Well, we're doing as much as we can to push some of the logic into scheme. Maybe I should have done a different type of game that doesn't require as much stuff on the outside, but it is what it is. I mean, for games, you're pretty much going to need random at some point to make it more interesting. Okay, so index, and we also need a dext, const dext. Well, no, we can't do that, can we? And I need to delete the card from the index. So I can use slice, I believe. So slice from 0. So cards.slice from 0 to index. Then cards.slice index plus 1. However, I need to make sure that I'm not looking at the last one. With no separators? No, no separators. I don't think I need those. For now, you could return a scheme procedure that you could call from JavaScript with a random number as its argument. Yeah, but I need it multiple times for doing this, I believe. I don't think there's a way that I'll be able to. Yeah, it would be weird. I don't know if it's possible right now to, in scheme, return a closure or return a lambda that has some captured state from a function call and then call that. So like if I'm calling something through the .call and then it returns a function back and I call that also. Because that could give me the ability to sort of drive the thing from the outside, but I don't know, it still feels like it would be hard to orchestrate that. So maybe this is better. It's not ideal, that's for sure. Should be able to do that. Okay, I might try it later if this turns out to be not so great. Okay, so let me see. Call JS from Scheme. Can't do that yet. Yeah, do what works for me. Yeah, apparently what works for me is writing a game in JavaScript. Trust me, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. If I have to, I'll use Guile script. Is that right? Guile script. Guile to JavaScript compiler. I don't know how far along it is though. So I could just write Guile and then compile it to JavaScript for the JavaScript side. All right, so like I said here, I need to make sure that the index is less than well, yeah. Because I don't want to go outside, but that might also cause trouble. Let's just wait on that. Okay. Does the spread syntax work correctly in browser JavaScript? Okay. That might work. That's a terrible way to remove something from a list, but from an array. Is that it? Index. Cool. Let's just call this and see what it does. Dave says I might stream today. You should stream. Where do you stream? Streaming is a lot of fun. Okay, so now, did I say in main? Yes, shuffle deck string, cool. This does not need to be a vector. I think this is still going to be a list. So now, let's try to run it. I'll run compile. Yep, same as yesterday. Yep. So now let's go back into Chrome and reload. Something crashed. Assignment to constant variable, shuffle deck line 180. Sure. 180. Yes. Fair enough. Okay, all right, there we go. That looks like what might be a valid string, or it could just be a hash string. SQCK S2 S8. There's a lot of spades in here toward the end. But that could be it. That might be enough to start with. I will... this didn't seem to crash either, so maybe that's fine. So we'll comment that out for the moment. And then... now in the scheme code, we can start to process that string. Finger Guns, hello, says, is the Lisp side of things going to be somewhat similar to eLisp, or is it a completely different animal? Well, it's Scheme, so it will definitely be different from Emacs Lisp just because it's a different language. But it's going to be minimal because all we can really do in Scheme at the moment is just write logic. And that's just going to be a lot of string processing and dealing with lists and that sort of thing. So that's where we're going to head now. Finally, after 1 hour, I think we're at a point where we can start writing some of the Scheme code. Okay. So, Christine says, Dave gave a really impressive demo of the FFI internally on Thursday, Friday. Yes, I've seen something about that as well. I've been sworn to secrecy, though. It's too bad it didn't make it in time for me to try it. So it goes. Yes, that's okay. You know, I think that's what's cool about doing it right now, is that people can see where things are currently at because of the limitations I run up against. And then the next time I do a game jam and a lot more of the language is working, it's going to be a huge difference. In fact, I've sort of committed myself to rewrite all of the code in Scheme once the FFI is in, and once maybe some of the things that are missing are in. So that'll be fun. We'll have 2 versions of the code to look at where you can see pretty much all of it being written in Scheme. So define deck string to list. All right, so now I want to take that string and look at every 2 characters. So let's see, what do we have in Hoot? Substring. It seems we have substring. It's in the prelude, so yes, seems like it. We're using stream copy, cool. So we have substring. Do we have... Yeah, I guess I have to get the character at a... Sorry, the substring of the single character at a given point. Is there anything for characters? String to list. Okay, so if I do string to list, that would work. That may actually be the right thing to do. Yeah, because I can use a match expression for that then. Okay, so go back to my main.scm. Now, do I need to do anything special to pull in match, or does it just work, I wonder? So for each, I want to call match. Let's call that cares, I guess. Uh-oh. And I need to remember the syntax for this. There's a mini match included in Hoot. Let's take a look. Match. Define syntax rule match. Sweet. I see it there. Doesn't match characters. Does it match strings though? Because ooh. Okay, that's not a problem. Good to know. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely use case for looking at... Well, actually, let me think about what I'm doing here. So deck string to list. I probably want to turn those into some other form that's easier for Scheme to handle. I mean, I suppose I could be doing pairs of like hearts 4. Or even symbol H4. So a list could be something like that, yeah. Come on now. That kind of thing. Though, maybe it needs to be integers because... So what would that be? 11, 13? Because I need to be able to do comparisons. Iterate on every 2 characters and add them to a list. I mean, can I get the character at a position? What is it? Is it string ref, right? Okay, string ref. So the string ref does exist. I could do a plain loop. Maybe I should do that. char to suit. And then define char to rank. So if I have those two, I could loop through the list of the string, just use string ref. So instead of doing that, and I also needed a list for aggregation. So deck. All right. So now I can const. Actually, let's say list char to suit I. Then char to rank. I also need to loop that. Just get rid of this little bit. So plus I1. The length is the same. Normally I would put that in an outer let, but let's just do it this way. That should be it, right? So we have a list char suit. This is going to put it in reverse order, but honestly, it doesn't matter because, well, at least it doesn't matter for now. It might matter later, but for now, it doesn't matter that we're going to reverse the order by pushing everything in as const pairs. Okay, so if I implement these two things with con, let's say. No, case. Case C. And, is that right? Case X. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, cool. So that's going to be /H. I think it's capital H, actually. I mean, I guess you could say, why not just use it as a character the whole time? Maybe that's the way to do it, actually. Why even convert it at that point? Converting it to rank makes sense because I need to convert it to an integer. So let's just use the regular string ref. I guess the only thing is, like, I'll be able to check if it's a valid character, but for now, let's just assume it's all valid. So the list would look more like this, I think. Okay. And character to rank, we will use, crap. Why are you scrolling? Can I use a predicate in case? Scheme case predicate. Conditionals, case, clause 1, clause 2. It could be datums. I guess I could put as many datums in there as I want, though. That works. I mean, I just want to be able to be more or less concise. Okay, so here, A is 1. Nope. Huh. Now, I need to make sure that, what is the, is it string to int or string to number? Number to string, string to number, okay. Not implemented. Okay, well, let's just do this the old-fashioned way. Otherwise known as the manual way. I wonder if comparisons on character ordering would work if I could just skip this all together, but maybe I should just, you know, stick with it. Okay, and now 0 is going to be 10. Jack is 11. Queen is 12. And king is 13. Okay. So hopefully that works. And the default, who knows? The sorry. It's else, right? Yeah. And who's gonna check the 0? I don't know. How did I end up with too many? Okay. Good enough. So now we should have everything we need to turn the deck string into a list. Can I display? Datum port. Is there a format? Nope. Display. I can call display at least. Is there a new line? Okay, so there's new line and display. So I could try to write that out. Let's see. So deck string to list. Let's just call that deck string. Yeah, well, okay. PK? Oh, okay. Nice. Let's try that. Deck. Okay, so let me try to run this then. I need to recompile, so let me redo this. Wrong number of arguments to cons. Really? You're probably right. So 37. Sure enough, I didn't put the actual list in here. Thank you, compiler, for catching my dumb mistake. Wrong number of arguments to string ref. Yep, you need to put a string in there too, don't you? So back to prelude, string ref. Is the string the first parameter? Yeah. Okay, so the string would be deck string. Same thing here, deck string. Seems better this time. Now we can go back to the browser, reload. Something crashed. Out of range, string ref, argument 2 out of range, 104. Well, that doesn't sound right, does it? I I think I'm not actually stopping the loop based on the len. So if less than I len, otherwise I need to return that list. So I need to return deck. I could probably use a match expression for all that. PK uncaught exception. Same problem. Oh, I need to constrain it so that I think that's right. There we go. That looks right. So we've turned that into a list that has all of the characters of the suits and then the number representing the rank of the card. Awesome. So now we have a basis for writing some logic, I think. So now that we have this this list, we can start to just drop those into the individual stacks. Deck string to list. Okay, so we got the deck. We can run these through there. Stock will be set, wow. Stock will be set last. So what I need to do here, I need to assign cards to the piles. So define distribute cards deck. So if we distribute the cards to the deck, then the assumption is that the piles will be mutated to be filled with the cards, and then I think we'll return the remaining cards as a result of this. So I'm gonna use a little bang on this because that's a mutating function. First, I need to initialize piles to be an empty vector. Can I pass a parameter to make vector of the initial value for everything? Let's go to prelude, make vector optional init. Okay, cool. So they should all be empty lists to start with. Now, once we call distribute cards, we also need to set deck. I know we're using a lot of set here. Not so cool. Then from stock, let's see. I guess, oh, that's just the remaining, right? So I set stock to the remaining. Whoa. Lispy got me. Okay. And then foundations, make vector 4. We also want those to be empty lists. So I think that is an effective initialization. So for stock itself would be a list. So we got the list coming out of distribute cards. So now we just need to implement the logic for distribute cards. So basically for each pile, the length of each pile gets longer than the last. It's all based on the index. So if I were to loop, let loop, index is 0, let's say. Then vector ref index, the piles will be the vector I'm reffing. Maybe we need an inner let here for this. So I suppose I could do that initially without having, whatever. Let's just do it this way. Pile. All right, so now that we have the pile, then we can take the number of cards for the current value of index plus 1. So there's gonna be another nested loop in here. I wonder if do works. I don't really use do very often. I don't see do in the prelude. Nope. Okay. That's fine. Maybe this should be also a loop. That kind of works for me. Trying to think. Yeah, okay. So count. Let's call it count. Plus index 1. So now for each of these, so if count 0, then we want to call the outer loop with plus index 1. Is that right? Also, we need to be storing the updated deck. So at 2 levels. Is there a built-in shuffle function? No, there's not. Because right now we don't have random number generation for, you mean like, is there a list function for shuffling? I kind of doubt it. That'd be cool if there was, but I doubt it. Yeah, you need random. I guess I could just set deck. That's a little bit lame, but you know, I have a variable there or a binding. I can just set into that. Then I could implement Fisher-Yates shuffle. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I'm just a boneheaded programmer. So pile, we got the pile, which is a list. We have the count. I also need to set that back into the list after the fact. I need to remember that. So in the final step, before we call loop, I actually need to, so if equivalent count 0, let's begin here. Set, mutate all the things. This is not functional code. Not really. Yes. Wait a second. What just happened? Vector. Is it vector set? Yeah. VI element. Okay. Vector set piles index. And the element would be the pile list itself. Yeah, we don't need to say that. So now we've got piles set. We also need to set the deck. Every time we take something, we'll set the deck. So in this case, this is if count is, well, let's just say if count is greater than 0, right? That's a more obvious way to do it. Sorry. That has to be the second branch if that's the case. So if count is greater than 0, then we'll begin also, I think we need to do that. Set deck card car deck set deck cooter deck I can take the begin off in that case because it's an implicit begin. Oh, name let loops. That's all I do in Scheme. I rarely do anything other than let loops. Okay, so card deck. So we're taking the card. All right, we got the card now. We need to const that. So inner loop cons card to pile. And then the next parameter is count. So minus count 1. So that's our little inner loop there. And all this recursion should be tail call optimized because we actually do have tail call support in WebAssembly now, at least in the latest versions of things. So we can do this. It's fine. All right, so let card deck, set deck, cdr deck, inner loop cons card pile minus count 1. That branch looks okay. And now when we're exiting, we set the vector of piles to have the pile we've been accumulating here. And then we call the outer loop to increment the index. That might work. So can I write out the piles in that case? PK piles. Let's see. Vector ref, argument out of range 7. I might have to, yes, awesome to have tail calls indeed. I love tail calls. Oh yeah, I need to have an exit case on this one. If loop. Oh, and I'm not even returning the deck. So if index is less than 7, do this whole jam. Otherwise, return deck. All right, cool. Oh, what was that? Okay, so this is our piles. That looks like 1. That looks like 2. That looks like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dope. Hold on. Why is this 4? Why is that 3? Something's wrong. I think there's a bug in the card code. Huh. Damn. Not making quite as much progress as I hoped. Got about 35 minutes left. But, you know, I think the basic board state will be set up. We'll have a shuffled board. So that's pretty good, I think. If I can get that rendering, if I can get all the piles rendering, then that would be pretty nice. All right, let's see what's wrong with this other part of the code here. I guess this is where unit tests would be a nice thing to have. Something here must be wrong. Oh, you know what's wrong? I'm not doing +2 like an idiot. That's what's wrong. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. That all looks like letters I would expect to see. Cool. All right. Yes, finally writing Scheme. It feels good to write code that looks like this compared to a bunch of janky JavaScript code. Okay. I think it's good. So now the question becomes, if I want to send this deck state back out to JavaScript world to have it be rendered, I need to have some kind of API to ask for that state. And I think what I'll do there is a comma delimited string where we have all of the piles encoded as 2 characters without any delimiter between. So each string will be 2 characters times whatever number of cards in the pile. I think we can get that done right now. Yep, now to reflect the cards on the canvas. Cool, let's see. What do I want to call that API function? Define get piles. Pile state. I don't like functions that don't take a parameter, but we've got all this stuff wrapped into a closure, so I guess it's fine. So let's just do this. Maybe we'll never need to use that kind of thing eventually. Yes, we won't, because I'll be able to just write all scheme, and we won't have to do this weird translation layer. That's fine. It's not that bad. All right, so I want to put together a string. We also need the string. Pile string started off as empty. All right, so if, let me think about this for a second. I guess it's fine to end it with a comma. Or even like a period. Maybe a period is a bit less egregious. Let's go with that. So if the index is less than 7, blah. Otherwise, return pile string. And in this branch, what we want to do is another inner loop for all of the cards. So let inner loop vector ref. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. And piles is set in this let up here, so it's sort of globally visible within the scope of this function. Piles index. Vector f piles index. We have the cards list there. And for each of these, we're just going to let's do it that way. All right, so now we have concat, is that right? Or is it string? Oh, is it append? String append, okay. Whoops, not that, not that. Drop down. Okay, so string append. I also need if up here, obviously. I probably should be using match expressions. This ain't no eLisp. Are we lucky enough to have map car or map C? Oh, that's probably what Christine's referring to. Yeah, map is fine. I would have to have like a reduce, maybe. Or a fold. Is there a fold? I see fold. Okay, there's fold. You know, maybe I should be using fold instead of doing all this manual looping. So yeah, let's do that. Keep me honest here. So f seed l. So that's the function, the seed value, and the list. Yeah, fold is there. That's okay. Things are moving fast and furious in Hoot land, so it's hard to keep up. All right. So this inner loop can just be a fold, I think. So if we fold, then what we say is lambda card. And the seed value is empty string, even as the boss, indeed. And the list is vector ref piles index. Yes, I'm saying vector, which is not right, but just sounds cool, right? All right, so lambda card, and this needs to be a string append. Oh, the second parameter to the procedure is the string, right? I think. So now I need a car to string function, define car to string. This is relatively easy. Can I say char to string? I think I do list to string. And then the codr of card needs to be passed through a function which is the inverse of this. I wish I had like some fancy key binding to do like a convolution here. I'm gonna have to move some things around a little bit, but let's just start with that. I probably should set up a keyboard macro to do this too, but I'm just not so talented with Emacs macros. What just happened? Hey, what did I do? Okay. That should be good. Yeah, I need a char because I'm going to use a list to string to turn those two characters into a string. So car to string, list to string. Just like that. Actually, let's just drop that down on the next line. Cool. All right, so string append, string car to string card. Give a char, have a char. So get pile state is meant to be a function call from JavaScript. Let me just go out there and try that real quick. What was I doing before with the piles? Okay, so the piles are strings. So that's how I'm handling it right now, because I suppose it's easy to deal with that in JavaScript land. It's just a representation layer. And render context. Do I have some state? Const. No, it needs to be a let, I think. Piles from string, I suppose we can call it. Let's just leave that as it is for now. And then at the initialization, we call new game, then retrieve the piles. So piles equals piles from string, get pile state dot call. And we need to go up here and extract that function from this. Get pile state. We also need to go into the scheme code at the bottom here and export that. Get pile state. All right, so that should bind these two things together at this point. Pile some string, needs to do some work, but we'll get to that. All right, cool. So we have not finished this logic yet. I suppose what I could actually do here, let's do another fold. Lambda pile string. Check this out. And the seed is going to be empty string. So whatever we were going to do before in this loop can now just be done like this. We're passing in the index. So let pile vector ref. Thanks, Christine. I'm having fun. I love doing game jams. I love streaming it too. For me, it's a lot of fun too, just to see how much progress we can make in one stream, just being as pragmatic as possible. All right, index piles. We got a pile here. Let me see if I can delete some of this junk. Cool. So now I can take this and throw it. Not there. Not there. Right there. So string append str. Paste that in. So, yep. And then I'm going to add a dot at the end of each of them. I'm not going to worry too much about whether it's the last one or not. So let's see. Does that actually work? All right. So we have our inner fold, which is lambda card string. The card will come from the list that's returned by vector ref on piles, on the index, which is on the outer fold. And we're string appending the string plus the card to string. So that should give me a whole list there. Maybe I also want to do a dot. No, I don't want to do a dot. I want that to be non-delimited. So then the string append here is going to take the previous string and the new card string for that pile, and then put a dot after. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to get. So now I can call that get pile state. Let's log out the string, console.log pile string. File string, sure, why not? Something got broken. Char to integer, wrong argument in, oh, okay. I need to do a catter instead of a cooter. Where was that? That is in the main.scm, cooter, catter. No, wait. Yeah, that should be a pair and not a list. What am I doing? Oops, this will be a const. Okay, char to integer, wrong argument type, or in position 1, expecting character 9. Oh, what did I do? So it's list to string. Oh, I didn't pass it through the function I wrote. Where is that? Rank to char. Okay, that explains it. Okay, that looks like what I wanted to see. Is it returning as a list? Huh. That's interesting. Oh, is it because of the fold? No, it should be a plain string coming out. Huh. Okay. Okay, so now I got the string. Okay, so let's say piles equals, what is it? JavaScript string split, can't remember. Maybe I could return a list of lists. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible right now. Okay, so pile string 0.split on period. Is there any parameters to this to dump the last one? Because there's going to be an additional limit on the number of substrings to be included. Limit 0. Seven. And then for each of those, map pile. I need to take every 2 characters and just turn them into a 2-character string. One second. Okay. So I can do like a slice maybe? Yeah. I guess that's the trick. So JavaScript map index. No, I don't need that. Int. You can see I've been writing C recently. Let I equal 0. Do I even need the let? I could split it too. Yeah, I suppose I could. That would simplify it. But if I have that trailing comma, then I have to like dump the last value. Yeah, let's just go with this for now. I agree with you, Alejandro. I could do it that way, for sure. Now that I'm using a different delimiter character. Okay, so I equals 0, blah, blah, blah. So what I'll do is I'm going to return a string. Yeah, that's it, right? Return pile. Wait a second. No. Wait a second. Yeah, I guess I'll do it this way. This is kind of simplistic, but whatever. So for each pile, I need to return an array of cards. So I'll push a string, which is pile.slice, starting at I, ending at I plus 1. I think that's going to work. Okay. And then instead of storing piles, I can just return this directly. Poils. I don't see the foils yet. Did I not call it? File string, okay. Something weird's happening. I'm supposed to be returning the result of the map on splitting the string. Let me just see what this looks like then. Oh, I think I have an infinite loop. Yeah, this is idiotic. How do I... That tab is hosed now. There we go. Cannot read properties of undefined. So split says... That looks good. Pile says... that is not what I wanted. Let's do that then. Okay, that looks right. So, oh, is 0 valid? I don't think 0 is valid, but... Oh, DK. Oh, king. Yeah, of course. Render, main.js. Ah, okay. 161. Piles I.length. Did I not set? Where does the render get called? Huh. That's weird. Oh, wrong. Okay. So start game loop. I might need to... Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe I should do this instead. Move it right there. Piles is piles from string. Actually, I only did that. Here, let's do it this way. Get pile state is not defined. Ooh. I need access to those APIs. Okay. I think that's it. That looks like a sorted deck, huh? So let's see. I saw a 0 in there somewhere in the output. And I didn't think that I actually had 0 as a valid value. That was the last time. I don't know if it's like a bug that crops up occasionally. Let me see. I think I just saw it. Yeah, 0 right there. How did we end up with a 0? Let me actually check the deck string we're generating on the way in. Here we go. I don't need to do that. Okay, I see as 0. So we need to not have 0 as a valid value. Did I? Oh, it is a valid value. It should be 10. Okay, all right. So I'm not going crazy. So when I see 0 show up in the board, it should be a 10. Draw a card. Fill text. Suit care. Rank string. There's 10. Okay, so that looks more right. Kind of need to center these things, though. That's a problem for another day. But, you know, it's almost 2 hours from the beginning of the stream, and we've got, like, actual deck shuffling working. If I refresh this page a bunch of times, you can see different cards all the way through. And it's a bit of a combination of JavaScript code plus Scheme code, unfortunately, just because we don't have the ability to pick random numbers in Scheme at the moment. But if we get a rand function this week sometime in main, then I could probably pull that in and do that instead, which would reduce some of the, let's see, how many lines do we have? 226 lines of JavaScript code at the moment. I mean, we could get rid of this shuffle deck function, at least. Let's see. We got about 7 minutes left. Oh yeah, it's not bad for Hoot 0.1.0 for sure. I mean, like, I've got legitimate Scheme code in here that's using tail recursion and you know, basic data structures. It's this is Scheme code for sure. So the next thing that I want to do is start to actually have some interaction with the game. So we need to be able to move cards around. Let's see, how would I... So you'd want to be able to take this 9 and put it on top of this 10 here to move a card from one pile to the next. That's not going to be that bad, I think. Can't implement it right now because I don't have time, but that's something for tomorrow. Presuming that I have time to stream tomorrow, we'll see. I'm going to try. Also, flipping cards from the stock and also moving like this ace up to one of the foundation decks. All that stuff I think is going to be pretty easy. Alejandro says the upper card should be hidden. Yeah. How should I represent that? So let's think for a second about how I want to deal with this row of cards. There needs to be a protocol for communicating action, an action from the client effectively into the game. Yes, I'm the dude from System Crafters. To translate an action from the JavaScript side of the world into the Scheme code, and then to have an update to the game state that comes back out on the other side. So I think the ideal would be we're trying to move a card from location A to location B, whether it's another pile or a foundation. We can also move a card from the stock, the top of the stock, to any of those locations. So let's just kind of break that down a little bit. So actions. Move card from, yeah, I guess there's a general move. So we need a way to encode the type of move. So move card from pile, stock, foundation to pile, foundation. Those are the valid source and destination locations. Flip card from stock. I guess the move also has different logic depending on where you're moving it to. If you're moving a card to a pile, it has to be compatible with the bottommost, well, what would you call it? Topmost card on the pile. Same thing for foundation. But yeah, so, okay, yeah. So flipping card from the stock. That's pretty much it, right? And then let's call it like responses. So the question is, does an action have a response, or do we need to request an update to the game state? An action could have a response to say that it was like accepted, and then the client will update its view of the world accordingly, but it feels a little bit dangerous to have two versions of the same state. So then it makes me wonder if we need to ask for the entire board state after every move, just to make sure that nothing is out of sync. But if we do that, I think it removes our ability to do any animations. Like, for instance, if you move a card from position to position, you need to know which pile it's going to in the meantime to like animate the movement of the card from one place to another. Because I want to have, one goal of this is to make this keyboard driven so that it's almost like, you know, if you use like Qt Browser or VimB or even like Nixt, whenever you have those little key pop-ups that show you what keyboard key to press to select a certain thing that is actionable on screen, I want to do the same thing for Solitaire, basically, so that you can feel like a true hacker where you don't use your mouse to click around the cards, you're just pressing keyboard keys. So to do that, I'm going to have to probably have some knowledge of the game state on this side. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think we got a good enough of a basis now that we can start to actually implement some of this logic next time. And maybe we'll have a playable game. So let me push this just to make sure that it's launchable. Just doing a little quick review. Let's take some of these console logs out. Don't need that anymore, I don't think. I'll leave it just for now. Didn't end up using the unit test after all. Hey, we finally have some scheme code. All right, cool. So working board initialization with card shuffling. You don't see the issue with animations. I mean, if I ask the scheme code what is the new game state after doing an action, then I just sort of like accept the new state. Push. So that transition might get lost in the process. Let me go over to Woodpecker. We should be publishing now. And if I pull that back up, Flux, there we go. What's your problem? Uncaught and promise error. Main JS 216, new game.call deck string. Interesting that it fails here and not locally. All the code seems to be there. We're calling the procedure. This doesn't help at all. Apparently it's a reflect.js issue somehow. Oh, at die. Scheme trap error. Consider debugging scheme code at the scheme REPL. Yeah, I should do that. Huh. Let me see. Did something weird happen? Okay, all of the files that should be there are there, I think. At main wasm. It's a little bit weird that it would happen like this, though. Click network. Doesn't look like it. All the WASM files got loaded. Yeah, I mean, the obfuscation here makes it pretty hard to understand which functions we're looking at. Oh, Christine knows what it is. Is it some kind of cross-site? Is it course? It can't really be course, can it? Because it's all inside the same site. I would hope it's not course. It's a very vague error if it's doing like a security restriction. And this didn't happen before either. It didn't happen until I added all this code. So there was scheme code that was working before when we first pulled up the stream, because I had published this and it was fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit weird, to be honest. Should I put those log lines back in? I guess why not, right? All right, so just for funsies, just the scheme code that I added for the logic in this stream. It's nothing that fancy. It's just regular old scheme code, so I'm not sure what would happen. But the thing is, the site is public, so if you want to take a look at the files, you might be able to tell what's happening. Okay, so we've gotten to the point where we've generated the deck string. That makes sense because it's complaining at the point where we hit the call to newgame.call. And in newgame, I'm calling deck string to list. Let me see if I'm doing anything that might be weird. Should I take that PK out? Should that matter? Hard to test this. I guess I don't need that. It works? Oh, what happened? That's so strange. I wonder, you know what? Here's an issue with Codeberg recently. Well, not recently, pretty much in general. Codeberg sometimes doesn't update the cache on certain files whenever you publish the Codeberg pages, so it's possible that one of the WASM files is out of date. Maybe the main.wasm file is out of date. That would explain why the binding didn't line up for the WASM function I'm trying to call into, because I'm passing a parameter. That's the thing that's different now. I was passing a parameter now, but I wasn't before. So that function now expects a parameter. Okay, cool. Yes, Codeberg made a code blurg. Cool, so I'm happy that this thing is up on this website. I think I've got it in the show notes. Or sorry, not show notes, the description of the stream. I believe that, oh, if it's not there, I'm gonna put it there. The link will be in the description of the stream, or even the repo. I think the repo README has a link to it. So anyone who wants to go just run that and check it out inside of Chrome Unstable, has to be Chrome Unstable, otherwise it won't work. But go click on that link and you'll get to see what we worked on today. I'm really happy with the progress. I think it went pretty well. I mean, it feels like we got the basis for a game now. And next stream we'll be implementing actual logic. So I think we will have an actual working game by the end of this week. How nice and polished it looks is another story, but we'll get there. All right, folks, thanks so much for being here today. Really appreciate your attention, your help, and your enthusiasm. And we'll see you next time. Hope you have a great day. And until next time, keep creative. See ya.